Morning, Toastmasters. Our Toastmaster today is Marty Johnson. I'll just go through a couple of the participants who are missing right now. We'll keep an eye out for them. Samantha at Master, Steve Smith as grammarian. We haven't seen Lester, he's evaluator number 2, or Dave Licata, evaluator number 3. We'll obviously let them in the meeting as soon as they arrive. And with that, I will turn things over for first meeting of the 2002-7 Optimist year to our Toastmaster of the day, Marty Johnson.
Thank you, Len. Good morning, everyone. Welcome, AM Lockport Toastmasters. I'd like to start with the inspiration with Margot Bittner. Margot.
Good morning, everyone. As we begin our new year together, we want to thank last year's officers for their leadership, and we want to appreciate the new officers as they come in. During this year, may every speech, every gathering, encourage everyone among us to learn and to grow. Through this club, strangers have become acquaintances and acquaintances have become friends, and may we continue to support and help each other through this coming year. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Margot. And at this point, we'd have the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, liberty, and justice for all. And I thank Beth Banks for filling in as word master today.
I'm going to pull a Kate, and I have 2 words, and I will put the meanings in the chat. The first word is radical, because those colonists were very radical in their ideas that they could declare independence from Great Britain. That was not heard of. My second word is equality. And they were striving for equality, but I believe we are still striving for equality. So I will put those words in the chat and try to use them, one or the other, or both. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. At this point, I would just like to introduce the theme, not to belabor the point, but just wanted to say how thankful I am to be a United States citizen, to celebrate Independence Day. Even though I will be working Friday and Saturday, I still will be able to celebrate Independence Day. And it's interesting this year, July 4th falls on a Saturday. That's the actual date of the people will be celebrating. And it's a U.S. federal holiday. The official date is Saturday, July 4th. And it's special this year, many of you know, because it's the 250th year of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So hopefully everyone is able to celebrate their independence this year. Hopefully you don't have to work. And if you do, make the best of it. And I would like to make a toast, here, celebrate our independence, the United States, all our citizens and all our founding fathers and those that signed the Declaration, so we can enjoy our independence and our freedom. Okay, moving on to our roll holders, where our master is Samantha. Samantha, please share your role today.
Just a moment. Good morning. I will be the master today. I'll be paying attention for ahs, ums, any filler words or pregnant pauses, and I will report back at the end. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Sam, very much. Our grammarian, Steve Smith. I don't know if Steve logged in yet. If not, Oh, there he is. Good morning, Steve and Jill.
Morning.
Steve, please share your role as grammarian, Steve.
Well, my job today is to pay attention to everybody's use or misuse of the English language, reporting anything that seems very well said or very badly said. And I will report back later. And I'm on her computer because mine doesn't want to get me on Zoom. And don't ask me why, I don't know. Duh. Duh.
Thank you, Steve. Next, our quote master today, Carol Ann.
Yes, I have a few appropriate quotes. We're blessed with the opportunity to stand for something, for liberty and freedom and fairness. And those are the things worth fighting for and worth devoting our lives to. And that's Ronald Reagan. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured with what is right in America. And that's by Bill Clinton. And may we think of freedom not as the right to do as we please, but as the opportunity to do what is right. That was Peter Marshall, who was a Senate chaplain in the 40s. And Irma Bombeck's take on it: you have to love a nation that celebrates its independence every July 4th, not with a parade of guns, tanks, and soldiers who file by the White House in a show of strength and muscle, but with family picnics where kids throw frisbees, the potato salad gets iffy, and the flies die from happiness. And of course, as a teenager with, at President Kennedy's inauguration, when we watched that on television, his famous quote of "ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Carol. And our jester this morning, Tracy Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. So in an American history discussion group, there was a professor trying to explain how society's idea of beauty has changed over time. For example, he says, the winner of the Miss American pageant in 1921 stood 5'1", weighed 108 pounds, and had measurements of 30, 25, 32. How do you think she would do in today's version of the contest? Well, of course, the class stood silent for a while until one student comments, well, she would lose for sure. But why is that? Asked the professor. Well, for one thing, she's probably dead. And I'm going to end with a corny dad joke. What kind of tea did the radical American colonists want? Liberty. Mr. Toastmaster.
Tracy. Thank you, Tracy. Keeping us on time this morning, Jill Roaring. Please share your role as timer. Jill.
Good morning, everybody. As timer, I will be timing table topics, speakers, and evaluators. Table topics are 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, you will get a green background of all my pretty hostas. At 1.5, you'll get my daffodils. And at 2 minutes, you will get my beautiful red peony that blossomed for the first time this year. So that is my job. Times also for speakers, you're usually 5 to 7 minutes, and evaluators are 2 to 3 minutes. So thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Our quiz master this morning, Zach Finney. Please share your role as quiz master.
Good morning, everybody. I'll be quiz master this morning. I'm going to be listening intently, putting my both listening ears on, coming up with some quiz questions to test you guys with at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Zach. And our general evaluator, Kate Orr. please share your role as general evaluator.
Thank you, Marty, Toastmaster of the Day. I am the general evaluator. I'll evaluate the meeting, U.S. Toastmaster, and our evaluators. So far, so good. Excellent theme, starting almost on time with our first foray back into Zoom and a toast. Well done. Back to you, Marty.
Thank you, Kate. Moving into the impromptu portion of our meeting, please try to use the word of the day, either radical or equality, in your response to table topics. Our table topics portion will be led by Darcy Colby. Darcy, take it away. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good morning, Toastmasters, and any guests that we might have. I am proud to be an American, and I'm proud to celebrate my country's 250th birthday. My home is decorated inside and out, and I only planted red, white, and blue flowers this year. My husband and I will be spending the day on Cayuga Lake at his brother's lake house with a bunch of other people, and we'll be eating and drinking and celebrating this wonderful milestone in the greatest country in the world. Is our country perfect? Nope. But I've seen enough and I've read enough to know that we are very blessed to live in the United States of America. Tonight, I'm going to be singing with my duo, Leather and Lace, at the town of Ogden's 250th celebration, where we are one of 3 musical acts, and that'll take place from 6 to 9 tonight. If anybody wants to come out to the town of Ogden, it's a family and kid-centered celebration, and there'll be fireworks at the end. All right, I made a list of the people that did not have jobs today, although some of them I don't see on. So the first question, let's see. Mike Florio, are you on? I don't think Mike's there. Let's see. How about Jim Sacco? Are you there? Not Jim Sacco. Okay.
Jim's not available today.
Okay. Let's see. Larry McKenzie, are you out there in Zoom land? Nope. Okay. How about, I know Gerald Stevens is here today. Gerald.
Yes, I am.
All right. What are your plans for celebrating the 4th of July this year?
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and no guests today. 4th of July this year, I plan to go on the 3rd, to go Les Robinson's party. So that will be fun. I'm going to go to that. I've never been, so that'll be a good time. And on the 4th itself, I'm going to go to Hyde Park. I have my grandson there. We have kind of sit in the golf course there and watch the fireworks in Niagara Falls. One thing I did learn about, which I am going to take a minute to do, and you may not be aware of this, fellow Toastmasters, there's going to be a 6-foot-tall rubber ducky, and 6-story tall, actually, rubber ducky in Canal Side, and it's going to have a baby rubber ducky. Timmy's the baby's name. Also in Canal Side. So I'm going to take a minute to go down there and try to get a photo with this massive rubber ducky, which is kind of cool. And for our friends in China, it has really nothing to do with the 4th of July or independence, but it's just kind of fun. So it's okay to do those kind of things. As I like to tell my students, it's okay to have fun in class. I'd say that a lot. So other than that, probably do a little grilling and try to get my garden up to speed for sure. So that is what I have going on for the 4th of July, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Gerald. Thank you very much. All right, for my second table topic speaker today, let's see. Marshall Song, let's get your perspective as a non-USA citizen. Let's get your perspective on the 4th of July And what do you think that those of us in the United States should be celebrating about our country? Marshall Song.
Thank you. Do you know what's the password of my iPhone? 177674 to avoid my nephew to play my phone. Do you know how many people want to be American of the world? 96%, because another 4% they are already American. You don't need to make America great again. You are always great for more than 100 years. Some people, they always see the US without history, but I told them that's the oldest modern republic country of the world. You started democracy and equality, and you made this world become better. After World War II, why we don't have World War III? That's because you lead this world. How do you think to celebrate that? You still have to thank Jesus, because that's why you are always be great and. Thanks God. If Jesus secretly came back several times, that's George Washington or Ronald Reagan or some your presidents. So just pray, and I hope you can make this world become better, and more country will like you to have equality too. Thank you.
Thank you, Marshall. All right. For my third speaker, are there any volunteers that would like to speak? I should have asked that in the first place. Any volunteers? All right, hearing none. Eric Schneider, would you like to give us your opinion? You can either answer question 1 or question 2. What are your plans for celebrating? Or what should we be celebrating for the 4th of July? Is Eric Schneider on today?
He's on, but I believe he's at work, so he may not be able to respond.
Okay.
I'll go, Darcy, if you need a participant.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters. Good morning. I choose to answer the first question, which is, what are my plans for Independence Day? And let me get that out of the way first. Admittedly, I'm becoming a bit of a curmudgeon as I age. I am starting to get annoyed with the constant reference to the 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. It's Happy Independence Day. And the reason I say this is my wife just recently saw an interview from a beach might have been the Jersey Shore, and maybe that tells you something, but young people being interviewed that had no idea what we're actually celebrating on the 4th of July, that it is our Independence Day. But anyway, that rant aside, we will be down at our cottage at Sunset Bay. Nothing radical. We'll just have, I don't know, maybe a couple of dozen people coming and going from our cottage over a couple of days. The place will get trashed. I'll be working my tail off, cooking and things like that, but we will probably have a whole lot of fun. My wife and I have decided that we are not going to get wound up over this. We're going to try to go with the flow and just pick up the pieces on Sunday. And the nice thing about it is there's usually a really wonderful fireworks display, I think both on the 3rd and on the 4th. So that is our plan for Independence Day, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Mark. This concludes my segment of Table Topics, and I'm going to relinquish control of the lectern back to our Toastmaster, Marty Johnston.
Thank you, Darcy, and all our participants in Table Topics. At this point, I call for a timer's report. Jill Roaring.
Good morning, everyone, again. All three qualified as to time. Gerald at 124, Marshall at 154, and Mark at 137. And nobody wants to see my red peony yet, so we'll see what happens later. Bye.
Thank you, Jill. And how did we do with our use of the words of the day today, Beth Banks?
I did not hear Gerald say either word. If someone else did, please let me know. But Marshall used equality twice and Mark once. So those two qualify for word of the day.
Thank you, Beth. And keep an eye open for the poll. You can respond to the poll for best table topics. Now we'll be moving into the prepared speech portion of the meeting. Our first speaker is Maggie Craig. Maggie's evaluator today is Phil Russell. Phil, please share Maggie's objectives.
Yes. Good morning, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. No guests, but that's okay. Maggie is going to give a radical speech.
Yeah.
And it is from the Inspire Your Audience. And she's in a workshop of Connect with Your Audience. And she is to inspire the audience with her radical idea of the speech title, Oh, Can You See? The purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. The purpose of the speech is for the member to inspire the audience. Maggie Craig, 5 to 7 minutes. Oh, say, can you see?
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, and congratulations to our new president and all of the rest of our board. This will be their first meeting leading us, and that's kind of exciting. Oh, say, can you see? Yes, I can. Dear America, it's me, your northern neighbor, Canada. I heard you're celebrating a milestone birthday. Happy 250th. Honestly, you don't look a day over 248. In the name of quality, I am about 91 years younger than you, so I still have my fresh, youthful glow. That extra century, it'll age you. I was going to come over and wish you a happy birthday in person, but there was a backup on the bridge, so I thought I'd send you a birthday card. Now, I know what you're hoping, that I sent along the poutine. Everybody always expects poutine, but you know me better than that. I'd rather send butter tarts. We've known each other a long time, long enough to finish each other's sentences, long enough to tease each other without starting a family feud, long enough to know that beneath all the jokes, there's something remarkable. People say good knit fences make good neighbors, but we tried something different. We drew a long line, a really long line, and decided to trust each other. Now, we are different. You spell color, C-O-L-O-R, and I keep looking for the U. You measure temperature in Fahrenheit, I use Celsius. which is why I know when water freezes. You gave the world jazz, Hollywood, blue jeans, and the moon landing. I gave the world insulin, basketball, the snowblower, and poutine. You're welcome. You have Hollywood. I have Hollywood North, where half your stars secretly live. I've honestly lost track of how many actors you've borrowed and hockey players, but that's okay. Families borrow things. Every summer, you visit me, and every Black Friday, I visit you. It works. We've had our disagreements, trade, tariffs, and whose side of the Niagara Falls has the better view. Not saying it's mine, but I do enjoy the rainbows. We tease because we can. That's what neighbors do when friendship is real. And you know what's funny after 250 years? People still call us neighbors. At this point, we're more like family. You know, the kind of family that borrows the lawnmower and never quite remembers to bring it back. But when your basement floods, or your lights go out, or life suddenly gets hard, they're the first ones at the door. That's family. Now, we've stood beside each other in war. We've celebrated together in peace. We've shared power during blackouts. We've sent firefighters across the border. We've crossed bridges for work, weddings, funerals, shopping, and love. When one of us needed help, the other one showed up. That's what family does. Lately, though, I've been wondering if we're all forgetting something. We've become very good at shouting across fences, very good at locking doors, very good at deciding who someone is before we've listened long enough to know them. But neighbors know better. Family knows better. Family sees the whole person, the messy garage, the beautiful garden, the dog that barks too much, the casserole when someone dies, the ladder when someone needs help, the wave across the driveway that simply says, I see you, I see you. And maybe that's why your anthem begins with a question. Oh, say, can you see? Can you? Can you see your neighbor? Not the headline, not the lawn sign, not the flag, not the politics, just the person. Because after all these years, I've learned something. A border can separate countries without separating people. So, America, on your 250th birthday, keep dreaming big, keep laughing, keep arguing, keep talking, keep showing up. Because families don't always agree, but families never stop caring. And if you ever need me, just look north. I'll be here. Oh, say, can you see? Yes, I can. Happy birthday, America. Love, Canada. Thank you. And I turn the lectern over to.
Thank you, Maggie. Our next speaker, Mike Licata, being evaluated by Les Robinson. Les, please share Mike's objectives.
Hello, everybody. Before I do that, just want to do a final invite out for tomorrow at 7 at my house o'clock to see fireworks. And we will start with Michael's speech. Michael speaking from the engagement humor. It is the connect with your audience. and his topic, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. His time is 5 to 7 minutes. Mike Licata, it doesn't cost anything to be nice.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you, Les, for that introduction. It doesn't cost anything to be nice. What a radical idea, especially this time of year when everyone is celebrating 250 years of our independence. Working in the service industry as long as I have experienced both ends of pleasantness and unpleasantness. And I want to tell you, as Toastmasters, as people, how important it is that it does not cost anything to be nice. And usually, when you're nice to people, you are able to get a little bit extra perks. One story that I have is when I was coming back from a wine tasting from Southern Erie County, I made a stop at the original Bar Bill's Tavern in East Aurora. It was a packed Friday night, and it took a very long time to get a seat at the bar because I'm by myself. Usually, when I grab dinner by myself, I always want to sit at the bar. It gets people out of the way, and I don't take up a table for some poor waitress. So this particular night at Bar Bill's, because it was packed, I was able to order an adult beverage and wait for a seat to open up. The longer I waited, I think more frustrated the bartender actually got for me because they saw how packed it was. The gentleman made a note of it, so I ordered my food. I ordered another adult beverage, but by the time I was able to leave and I went to go pay the check, I noticed that because of my patience, the bartender actually did not charge me for that initial first drink, and I thanked him for it and I tipped him a little bit extra. Another experience this doesn't have anything to do with the food service industry, but when I returned my cans and bottles for nickel, I grew increasingly frustrated with the experience at many grocery stores, so I decided to find a can return place. And this is where loyalty becomes important. I've gone there for about over a year now, probably about a year and a half. And when you're nice and you're patient in a place like this, they will actually come out and take care of you first instead of the person that pulls up with 7 or 8 bags of empties. It's why, again, it costs nothing to be nice. And when you're loyal and when you, again, maybe it has something to do with leaving a generous tip to the gentleman there, it is important to remember that being nice and being loyal is one of those experiences where it grants you extra help and extra convenience when it comes to just being nice. Now, we've all experienced poor service, we've all had poor restaurant experience. It's part of the human experience. Now, I also enjoy the other side of that somewhat because in this day and age of technology with reviews websites, with apps and everything like that, it's important to remember that you don't have to get the manager or supervisor when you're in this place. Excuse me. You can actually, what I do recommend, and I recommend it all the time, is you can go to either TripAdvisor, Yelp, or Google and leave a review. If you have had a bad experience, leave a review and make sure that it is a couple of paragraphs long because it usually forces the business owner to respond. They have to respond to the criticism. They also respond to the positive energy, the positive reviews as well. But they're more forced to handle the negative reviews because if there's a lot of negative reviews, it does not help the business, and people will actually go out of their way to avoid certain businesses if they have a lot of negative reviews. It happens. It actually sinks a lot of businesses nowadays because the internet has done a great job of allowing tourists and new people to explore hole in the wall bars or businesses that wouldn't be as successful if not for the internet. So bad reviews have sunk businesses in the past, but they've also established a kind of pecking order in terms of different services depending on what you use. The understanding too when it comes to leaving positive reviews is you could do it on other businesses through Google. When I went through my physical therapy, the place that I went to in Lockport was actually smart enough that they left signs all over the facility that said, don't forget to leave a positive Google review if you had a good experience. And when you're there 3 times a week at some point, it's also important to remember that, yes, you had a good time, and it is important because that helps each individual business as well in terms of getting more clients down the road. So you can use it for more than food. You can use it for a couple different things. But fellow Toastmasters, it is a radical idea to be patient in situations where you're getting different services or experiences, not to rush, and to remember there are new and more influential ways to vent your frustration through your bad experiences. But I also want to encourage and remind everybody that it doesn't cost extra to be kind. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mike. Our next speaker is Sylvia Baptiste. Sylvia will be evaluated by Dave Licata. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Sylvia did include an introduction, and I just want to lead into her speech very briefly. Sylvia, as many of you know, is involved with many projects at the YWCA and does a lot for women in the community. And most recently, she's involved with Carolyn's Housing Development, also known as Carolyn's House. It's in Niagara Falls, New York. And she is co-managing this project with other managers overseeing the fiscal aspects of the project with her accounting team. And Sylvia is going to
ready to
talk
tell
about that today.
I can't get on here. I had to come there.
So evaluator for Sylvia is Dave Licata. Please share Sylvia's objectives, David.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, that's great. I'm having a little trouble with my phone. I had to switch to the computer so I can hear you and I can deliver my evaluation, but you can't see me, which is a shame because I was up all night practicing my gestures. All right. The purpose of this project is to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of your team. Form a team of 3 to 4 people and choose a project. Create a plan for your project and present the plan to your club in a 2 to 3 minute speech. Work with your team to complete your project. Present a 5 to 7 minute speech about the experience. This speech may be humorous, informational, or any type of speech that appeals to you. It should not be a report about the content of this project, but a reflection of your experience applying for what you learned. So the goals are building a team, creating a project plan, the project plan resource, a 2 to 3 minute speech about your plan, completing the plan with your team, a 5 to 7 minute speech about your experience. So this is quite the ambitious project. I don't have the title. I hope you do.
Thank you, David. The title of Sylvia's speech is Carolyn's House 2.0. Please help me welcome Sylvia Baptiste, Carolyn's House 2.0. Welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you. Thank you, Marty and David, for the introduction. As Marty was saying, the YWCA of Niagara Frontier opened Carolyn's House back in 2005, providing 19 apartments on-site support services for women and children. Carolyn's House is designed to empower residents to transition from homelessness to a safe future. Most women and children entering Carolyn's House has experienced trauma, including domestic violence and or sexual assault, financial challenges, substance abuse, and or incarceration. Supportive housing services at Carolyn's House includes employment training, case management, counseling, financial literacy, for a few of the support services that we give. And it's for them to develop skills and increase their confidence and allow for a safe and successful path back into the community. Over 500 women and children have found refuge in their path of dignity over the past 21 years at Carolyn's House. Carolyn's House actually is named after a Niagara Falls community activist who passed away, Carolyn Van Schaik. She came to the YW and asked us for help to apply for funding for this historic building on 6th Street, 542 6th Street. And in my final presentation, I'll get more into the history of the building. The original construction cost 21 years ago was over $2 million, and 21 years have passed very fast. So, and you have over 500 women and children walk through your door, you know it is time for repairs, just like your home. Elevator needs to be replaced, the roof, the heating system, water tanks, the alarm system, all needs to be replaced, plus flooring. So what will $674,737 buy us? My committee is made of 3 managers, our CEO, housing manager, and of course, myself as the finance, and working with the contractors is part of our team. In this Toastmaster project, it said, hey, it would be nice if you could ask people from your club to be on the team. And unfortunately, we really can't do that. But I am willing to take anyone who is interested to see the building before and after, and give them the more insight of what we do. I'm always willing to do tours. Some of the challenges with this project is finding the contractors, knowing that we're working with New York State. That's a challenge. They know how New York State works. We need at least one MWBE contractor or a veteran-owned business. Believe it or not, as hard as it is to get someone in Western New York that is labeled MWBE, we found someone, a reputable company, and they have worked with New York State. They know how difficult they are, and they are willing to help us because they believe in Carolyn's House. At the end of this project, I will report to everyone, and maybe during my project, with the challenges and how far this money will buy us. We already had hit a hiccup, and it is being resolved. One of the hiccups, bumps in the road, you want to call it, the quotes are outdated from the time that we submitted our application to be approved. So now we're receiving all new quotes. And of course, what do you see? The materials have increased in price and labor has increased in price. I don't have a deadline yet as of today, but I will keep everyone posted, willing to answer questions. And at the end of my presentation, my final presentation, I will have pictures and more history on Carolyn's house. So that is my information for you today.
Thank you, Sylvia. May we please have a timer's report? Jill.
Yes, you may. Maggie was 625. Mike was 626. And Sylvia, I goofed up. I thought the speech was 2 to 4 minutes, but I forgot to start timing it for till a 5 minute. So she came in at 5:24. I'm going to say we let her go because I didn't have the colors up properly. Thank you.
That's supposed to be?
I thought it said 2 to 4.
You're not muted.
So all three qualified, Jill? Okay, thank you. Please take a moment to mark your Zoom poll. For best speaker today. And then I'm going to briefly share 3 facts about Independence Day, and then I'm going to weave into 2 of our role holders that have to leave early, our Master Sam and our Quizmaster Zach, before we move into the evaluations to give them time to deliver their reports. Yes. So the first fact I just wanted to share from Wikipedia, the Declaration of Independence was adopted by the Second Constitutional Congress in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, formally declaring the 13 American colonies were no longer subject to British rule and were independent, became independent sovereign states. Talk about radical. I'm sure it was very radical at that time. Secondly, the Declaration of Independence, I learned, was approved on July 2nd, 1776. However, the final text was adopted on July 4th, 1776. And many of you know that is why we celebrate Independence Day on July 4th. Some of you have heard of the Declaration of Independence and the Committee of Five. I found it interesting that, when you think of the Declaration of Independence, you think of Thomas Jefferson. Well, Thomas Jefferson wasn't alone as the Committee of Five. He had John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Roger Sherman, and Robert Livingston. And it was drafted, those men drafted the Declaration. Jefferson, as you know, was the main author. Lastly, it may be coincidence, but on my calendar, the saint of the day for July 3rd is St. Thomas. What a coincidence. Now, I know all of you are just waiting to hear all that great information, so we'll move into some better information from our Master Sam and then our Quizmaster Zach before they leave today. Take it away, Sam.
Thank you, Marty. I apologize. I was a little distracted initially. I offended my son by not serving him his chocolate milk immediately when he woke up. So when Steve was speaking, I was a little distracted. I don't believe I heard anything from Steve. Darcy had 5. It was a little hairy seeing if people were actually on, though, so I would blame it mostly on that. Gerald had 1. Marshall had 4. Phil had 1. Dave had 1. Sylvia had 4. Everyone else I did not hear anything from. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Have a great day. Next, our Quizmaster, Zach. Before you leave, you could please share your Quizmaster report.
Okay, got a few quick quiz questions for you guys. Number one, what color flowers does Darcy have planted this year in her yard?
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and blue is correct. Okay, number two, what is the name of the rubber ducky, the baby rubber ducky?
Tim. I'm gonna shut up now.
Timmy. Who said that?
Timmy.
Maggie.
Excellent. Yep. So the answer is Timmy. Number three, how many years younger than us is Canada?
91.
91?
91 years younger. That was a great kind of pointer. I didn't know that. So I learned something today as well. And lastly, what is a better way to reach higher level management or potentially owners, CEOs in the service industry? Instead of going direct and asking for,
Online?
leaving
Social media.
online reviews.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Zach. Have a great day.
You guys too. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll be moving in to the evaluation portion of the meeting. Our first evaluator, evaluating Maggie Craig, is Phil Russell. Phil, welcome.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Maggie, welcome to Zoom. It's a double-edged sword. I'm glad we have it, but there are also some challenges with it. Let's start off with Maggie. Opening with a song, that was really good. Closing with a song, that was even better. Open and close is the most important part of any speech. Storytelling, Maggie, you are unnatural. And then with the Zoom, you stood and we could see you and your props and your gestures. The most important part of the speech is that you connected with your audience. Again, that double-edged sword of Zoom. Standing, I was a little bit awkward with that standing because of the camera position, not because of you, but because of that camera position and that Zoom. It's technology. It was good. Then all of a sudden I started to focus in, and you did a great job with it. You did. But it's that double-edged sword of the Zoom. Again, we're getting better at it, and you were getting better at it. How can you challenge yourself? Projection. Your voice is excellent. You have nice tones, soft. It's just great. But it was hard to hear on Zoom. And I've seen you in contests, and sometimes you need to learn to project a little bit more. And that's it. That's what I would challenge you on is projection. But your voice is good. It's pleasant. It's good to listen to. It also could be a factor of my own hearing. Zoom is a challenge. And it's a radical idea that we are mastering. And thank goodness for that. Maggie, you did a great job. And I liked that whole storytelling that you did because you are good at storytelling. You had props, gestures, the whole deal. You did a good job. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Phil. Our next evaluator is Les Robinson, evaluating Mike Licata's speech. Welcome, Les.
Hey, thank you, Marty. Number one, I've been having a little unstable internet. So before I get started, if I blank out, it's my internet. So I'm ready to evaluate Mike Licata. Mike, enjoyed your speech. When you talk about being nice, I could see my brain. I could see you sitting at the bar. I could see you, looking at the bartender. Being nice has its advantages and its disadvantages, but the way you presented this is you were showing out the karma fairy. Mike Licata giving out great karma, indirectly, good karma coming back. And that's what you could feel. Your clarity was incredible. Also, I liked your vocal variety. On Zoom, there's really no eye contact. Your gestures, I'm going to skip to that in a minute, but your audience awareness on the topic, on the abilities to put reviews on Google, all of that was very good. And I also liked about how writing 3 or 4 paragraphs on a Google event for that. Also, your comfort level. I think you could have spoke for hours on this because I think you've done this more than once of being nice. I think he was interested in the topics. Now, where I would improve on is you look like you were praying to the good gods, like, please be nice. You had your hands clasped, and it's a standard Toastmaster problem. We grab the Lechner, we hold together. And that was your only problem. Otherwise, you were very relaxed. You enjoyed talking. You've been doing this for a few years. And your overall it's a great speech, but it was kind of like if you looked, you were not moving. The hand gestures were your problem. But overall, clarity, it was a great topic. It makes you think. It makes people think before they get agitated. Maybe I should put a review so I don't make a scene. It was just an overall fun and exciting speech, and hopefully will make all of us a little more effective when we are dealing with people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Les. Our third and final evaluator evaluating Sylvia Baptiste's speech is Dave Licata. Welcome, David.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster. What struck me as I'm sitting here collecting my thoughts is what a great hire the YWCA has in Sylvia Baptiste. She's a total professional. She's going to get this project solved, and it's a daunting one. I mean, I've never had a project like that. And it was clever the way she explained everything, because that drew us in. It was clever that she frequently used the name of the house, Carol's house, and that made it real. But the goals that I read earlier said we wanted a 3-minute speech to this team that's getting their last instructions before the landing craft hits the beach. And then we're going to get another 5 to 7 minute speech later about the project in general and to sew it all up, to put a bow on it. And we didn't get that, which once again reflects on how difficult this project is, and why I avoid such projects like that. But Sylvia, once again, she's quite the person. She's going to get her done. She'll get it done. And but on the third part of the speech, there's no there, or unless I'm confused. But we're looking forward to the next time she speaks, because she's an excellent Toastmaster. Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Dave. Jill, may we please have a timer's report?
Yes, you may. Phil was 229, Les 205, and Dave snuck in at 154. So they all qualified.
Thank you, Jill. When you see the poll, please select who you thought gave the best evaluation.
Who did it?
And finally, before we move into the general evaluation, I just wanted to share a couple personal memories very briefly of Independence Day, of myself growing up in the north end of Lockport, New York. I'm sure many of you have many great memories that you'll be sharing over this Independence Day. I grew up in Lockport, New York, and for many years we would go to Outwater Park, specifically the huge field near North Park School. For many years, that was a tradition. My family had a wonderful group of friends and family that lived nearby there. Therefore, we would go there for pool parties, delicious food, you name it. We had it. The family would travel to, I believe it was at the time, it was Florida every year prior to Independence Day, and they would bring back loads of fireworks, and they would have their own fireworks show in their backyard. And it wasn't the safest of venues. I won't go into that though. However, one thing I do remember at the park, it was a huge field, and I wish they would consider having it there again instead of constricting it to a small parking lot like they've had a few years ago in downtown Lockport. One year, one of my neighbors actually had an errant firework land on him, and it singed his whole forearm. It was very tragic. However, the good memories that I have of celebrating Independence Day far outweigh anything bad that happened. Oh, with that said, I wish you all a wonderful Independence Day. Definitely enjoy your weekend. Be safe. I'm going to turn control of the meeting over to our general evaluator, Kate Orr. And Kate, if you'd like, I can call for the grammarian and word report when you're done. If you'd like, it's fine. Thank you. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you, Marty. Can you all hear me okay? Kind of okay. Uh-oh.
We can hear you. We can't see you.
Oh, I know you can't see me. I have been driving, but I'm pulling into a parking lot right now. So I will put my screen on, and first I'll say, Marty, yes, when I am finished, I would appreciate if you call the reports so I don't speak out of turn and give everyone the equality that they deserve. Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? You can kind of see me now. Okay. Turn my car off, and I'm not in the sticks yet, so I've had service the entire time. I've been all over. Some days I'm all over 7 or 8 counties is my record. 8 counties in one day. 8 beautiful American New York counties. What a great topic, and what a wonderful video. I haven't watched one of our videos, our recordings, in a while. This one I will come back and revisit. From the beginning, like I mentioned, starting pretty much on time. Wonderful inspiration by Margot, our Toastmaster of the day, taking charge. Marty, when you're on, you are on. And today you were. From the topic to the introductions, to the language, to the stories, you really showcased what a distinguished Toastmaster ×2 can be. I'll take my sunglasses off so you can see me. Goodness gracious. Okay. I love on the side, Darcy, not only in a garb showcasing Americana, you, instead of clapping, were waving the flag. I love that you waved the U.S. flag, bravo, in lieu of clapping or the reactions. Some of us were doing clapping and hearts. I love that. Okay, let's get to our evaluators. We had strong evaluators today, 3 strong speakers and 3 strong evaluators. First, Phil, true distinguished Toastmaster evaluation. You were assiduous our word of the day from last week. You were careful. You were serious. You mirrored Maggie so very well. You used the word of the day. You gave poignant suggestions, as well as recapped how excellent her preparation and showcasing was. It's challenging on Zoom. And I agree that volume variations are something, Maggie, to definitely work on. It's better than speaking at the same volume. There are times for those of us, including myself, with hearing issues, that it's almost too soft. Although that variation is so special. You emphasize louder, you sing. It was great. Great is too mild of a word. I would suggest we try to take the word great out of our language, and there I did use it. It was sensational of a speech. Les, another distinguished Toastmaster, and evaluation, very well done. The Karma Fairy, fantastic. I don't think Mike said that. I think you came up with that, and I've heard it before. It's an excellent recap of what Mike's nice in customer service topic means. You gave us an excellent review of his tools in his toolbox. I disagree with one thing, that we cannot make eye contact on Zoom. It is obviously not real eye contact. So if that's what you mean, of course, we're not there in the same space making real eye contact. We can try. We can look at our cameras. We can be aware of who is in our audience. Okay. I think today that Mike had some fillers and you mirrored that, kind of. Les, your fillers are so and now. I heard a lot of so and now, and they're emphatic. I mean, they have meaning. Maybe review and watch the video too, so you see what I mean. But Mike, your fillers today, and sometimes I hear this, are either laughs or grunts, kind of. So listen back so you can hear that and maybe diminish that in your future speaking. You don't want those fillers to detract from your message and from the impact, right? Because the body language and the vocal variety really matters. Dave, you gave a founders of the club evaluation today, really focusing on Sylvia and all that she gives to the YWCA and our club, AM Lockport. We, for anyone who doesn't know, used to meet at the Lockport YWCA for over a year, and Sylvia was a gracious host. Dave, you had a choppy start in introducing your speech. You kind of interrupted a little. Watch the video also. You'll see what I mean if you do that. Your word of the day today was clever. I think you said it a few times. Sylvia is clever. I agree with that. I will wrap it up with, you can't see me as well as you can see Darcy, and maybe some of, oh gosh, Jill, I can't not say anything about your amazing and creative use of your garden for the colors today, from the grass to, I can't remember what you call the yellow, and the peony in red. Gorgeous and so expressive and very well done. You can give me the red light because I'm talking too much, and then we can all see the peony. It would be lovely. I will try to show off my t-shirt. Let's see if you can see this. All right, this is the 250 USA Looney Tunes Red Cross t-shirt. If you donate blood between now and July 12th, anywhere in the United States, you score yourself one of these t-shirts. And folks, if you did not know, like Marty mentioned, the fireworks accident, the 100 deadliest days of the year are from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Medical professionals and first responders call it trauma season. Please be safe on the road. I was very safe as I could be on the road today. Be safe with your friends and family, whether it's recreation, sporting events, out on the water, using those fireworks, encouraging safety, and bystanders get in the way. Gosh, sometimes an entire blood drive of donations could go to just one person in a motorcycle or car or RTV accident. So please donate blood. Visit 1-800-RED Cross or redcross.blood.org and donate wherever you are if you can. And if you can't, let me know and I am happy to help you reach the community in other ways. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Wonderful meeting.
Thank you, Kate. At this point, we will move into the last of the two roles. Last two roles, I'll call for a grammarian's report, Steve Smith, and then we'll go to our word master, Beth Banks. Welcome, Steve.
Hello. Well, I don't see me, but I'm there. I didn't hear any really bad English today, nothing cringeworthy. The closest we came was Dave Licata, and I was just confused. He said, "There is no there there." Huh? Okay. But I did hear a lot of good descriptive words today. Gerald Stevens referring to the massive rubber ducky. I like that. But what I do want to talk about are two different people who use creative English, and I liked it because it's all too easy to use. How do I want to say this? The vulgar ways of expressing yourself. Mark Campus said, "I'm working my tail off." Now we know there's a lot worse ways of saying that. I appreciate that. And I love Mike Licata's way of saying, "I was growing increasingly frustrated." And we know there's a lot grosser way of saying that. And I appreciate these usages of better English rather than just jump right to the guttural. It's all too easy, and you hear it in all media now. People are using, and even our politicians, and you hear it when sports interviews and all over. They're going deeper and deeper into the gutter tray of language. So I really appreciate not doing that. It's refreshing. It was once said, swearing is a sign of ignorance. And I agree with that. We are showing we are very intelligent and using better language.
And lack of vocabulary.
Lack of vocabulary. Yes, swearing is a lack of vocabulary. I worked in a plant, and many of us did. Every other word was an F-bomb. That's extreme lack of vocabulary. And the part, when you get exposed to that, you start talking that way yourself. And I had to catch myself many times. No, don't use that language. It's better language. So I really appreciate the people using more creative terms instead of just dumping right to the guttural language. And that's my rant for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And last but not least, our word master report, Beth Banks.
Thank you, Marty. We had some people who used the word quite a few times, including yourself. Tracy used it once. Marty used one of the words 4 times that I heard. As I said for Table Topics report, Marshall used it twice, Mark once, Phil Russell used a word twice, Maggie once, Mike Licata twice, and Kate once. I did not hear anyone else use any of the words. If they did, I apologize for missing them. Hopefully they will remember to use them next week. Thank you.
Len or Mark, would either of you like to announce the winners when you get the opportunity? Or if you'd like, you could send them to me. That would be wonderful.
I'd be glad to, Marty.
Thank you, Len.
First of all, thank you very much for an excellent job as Toastmaster of the Day. We appreciate it. It's for those of us who are always there in person, just being on Zoom is a radical change. I had to sneak in that word of the day there. It's my pleasure to announce the winners today. Our best Table Topics participant was Mark Campus. Our best evaluator, Bill Russell. And voted best speech today is Maggie Craig. I have just a few announcements here, then I'll call for others. We have, I won't say an obligation, but an opportunity to attend training via Zoom on the 22nd. Our goal is always to get at least 4 of the officers to each of the 2 annual sessions. And that keeps us in the running for President's Distinguished Club. So if you want to mark your calendars, if you're an officer, Wednesday, July 22nd, 6 p.m. via Zoom. And I understand you don't necessarily have to do the training for your current role, especially somebody like Mike Licata. You've attended 2 treasurer ones already, presumably last year. You're graciously repeating your role again. I don't think you would benefit from seeing 2 more treasurer training sessions. Maybe you have your eyes on another position down the road and you want to explore one of those instead. We still get credit for that. So that would be great. There seems to be a little, I'm going to do a little tutorial. We have a Toastmaster in a can tool on our website. I'm going to do a table topics in a can to make that run a little bit more smoothly for people that haven't done it on a regular basis. There's just a couple tricks that just make it a cinch to do. I will at this point call for any other reports. Anybody else? I'm sorry, any other announcements? Anybody else have announcements for the general good before we go?
I do actually. I was just typing it out in chat, but I'll just say it. I am helping to organize the July 22nd Zoom officer training, and we are looking for people to volunteer to do the breakout rooms. It says on the official invite that the Zoom training is from 6 to 9, but I have been told by Glenn that we will be maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours less. But we need someone to break out to do the breakout room, and I am specifically tasked with Sergeant at Arms. I sent Darcy, I sent you an email. I know it's summer, and I know you're busy a lot in the summer, but I know we've also had other Sergeant at Arms. So if anybody else is interested, please let me know. And if you're interested in another position, I don't know if they're filled either, so I can put your name forward. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Maggie. A couple of other things occurred to me. Thank you, Mary Cabanero and family. And I know Kate was very involved in the planning of this. The wonderful picnic we had over the weekend at Mary's house, the barbecue. It was wonderful. I hope people that weren't able to make it appreciate the planning that went into that. It was a very nice send off to the outgoing officers, and welcome to the new slate. And we really appreciate whenever we can do extracurricular functions like that. Any other announcements?
Yes, thank you, Len, for recapping the picnic. It was a beautiful day. There are pictures on Facebook. Thank you to Mary and Eric for posting those on Monday. And at that picnic, the next social activities, we discussed possibly seeing Citizen Kane in the movie theaters. It's this week, though, this coming week. There are dates if you just want to go on your own. I will forward that. Thank you, Jill, for bringing that up. I will forward that email. Or Jill, if you know you'll get to it faster than me, I won't get to it till tomorrow. So if you want to forward that info out, I cannot attend next Wednesday. It looks like the only date I could do would be Sunday night. But if anybody, or afternoon, there's some options. If anybody's interested, or we just go on our own and then have a gathering afterwards and chit chat about it at some point. Citizen Kane, amazing Academy Award winning movie. And Maggie has taught repeatedly and knows a lot from her film college teaching background. Shakespeare in the Park, we may attend both showings. That's coming up. And Star Shows by Steve in Wilson. We'll, I'm sure, hear more about those at future Zoom meetings. I would be remiss to not echo Les's announcement for his party tomorrow night. Les, what time are your fireworks? I don't know if you want to stop the recording, Mr. Officers, or
we're doing okay on time.
Okay. Les, what time are your fireworks? When it gets dark, at like 10? Is he still on? Maybe not.
That's right.
He's on, but he might have wandered away.
All right. I also I am hosting tomorrow night. The weather might be looking dicey in Alcott Beach. 50% chance, rain and winds of 15 miles an hour. If it is canceled, it is postponed to next Saturday, Pirates Weekend in Alcott. You're welcome to come to my place Saturday next week if you cannot make it tomorrow or the weather pushes us back. It promises to be an interesting and extra special fireworks because the data center TerraWolf near Alcott has ponied up $20,000 extra for the fireworks. It would be awesome if they did that for the roads that are damaged by their trucks, or perhaps healing the waters that are polluted. And I digress. There's goods and bads. My husband works there right now. So there it is. And come on out for fireworks. Have a great holiday. Happy Independence Day. Happy 250 USA. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Kate. We have a tradition of post toasties going to a restaurant or whatever. We're no longer constrained by the recording finishing.
I got the password.
What I'll do is just kind of leave the meeting up and
Yep.
kind of walk away. I have some fires to put out for some clients, of course. But you guys can continue to hold. When I see that nobody else is in the meeting, I'll close it out and finish the recording. And with that, I'll turn it over to Mark to announce next week's Toastmaster of the Day and speakers. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Len. Our Toastmaster next week is Larry McKenzie. Speakers are Kate, Zach, and Margot. Unfortunately, 2 out of the 3 are no longer in the meeting, but if anyone sees them, maybe remind them. And the agenda has been populated as well. Thank you, Len.
Thank you, Mark. And with that, I will close this meeting. See you all next week.